As times change, so do the economics of the world, and Zimbabwe, being a part of the global village, is always being called upon to play a part in ensuring that the needs brought about by these changes are met. In Harare, an Institute of Public Health was recently set up for the training of health personnel as well as consultancy and research in the health sector in the country and abroad. The brainchild of Dr. Amos Marume, this Center of Excellence in Public Health and Informatics Research and Training is accredited by the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, and has so far churned out a number of dispensary assistants in the School of Pharmacy, with some now furthering their studies to become pharmacy technicians, produced many nurse aides and nursing assistants who have now taken up posts in many countries around the world. And it has also taken part in many health consultants and research projects in the SADC region. We spoke to Dr. Amos Marume to find out what drove him to venture into this type of business at a time when government and other local institutions are already offering the same programs.
We started training some of the programs in the form of short courses within the University of Zimbabwe, but we completely became standalone in 2017, 2018, around about there. The motivation really, like I said, is to try and see, or maybe let me highlight this, that even the government of Zimbabwe, through the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary, conducted a skills audit that is for all really important professional areas. So I'll just focus on health. So that skills audit highlighted an inverted triangle where you have, in the whole generality of health, you have, more specialists and less assistants. So that is not how it is supposed to be. Ideally, you should have more assistants and less specialists. We are now creating also a certain professional or a certain professional group for public health and medical or pharmaceutical assistance, which was not really there. Again, it does create quite a lot of employment around that area. Also, we are supporting a lot of councils, medical or health professional councils, as we work with some of our assistants, end up in some way or the other being controlled or regulated by a certain professional council.
Dr. Marume also said that Zimbabwe has the potential to train many health professionals, consume what she needs, and then export the excess to earn the country revenue in remittances by those working in the diaspora.
The private sector does provide efficiency. So if as a country we can embrace that training of healthcare professionals can be effectively and efficiently done by private entities and institutions, of course in collaboration with government, it would be one step where we can produce more than what we actually need. Do you get my sense? So we have that capacity, and the good thing about Zimbabwe is that we do have quite a goodwill when it comes to academic and learning. We do have a lot of that goodwill. We can capitalize on that. Even in the region, some of us travel in the region and internationally. Zimbabweans are known to be trained to the top standard. Of course, we can look at it and say it's the risk factor that makes our people or our public health system vulnerable, because it means we have good doctors, we have good pharmacists, so any country wants them. But we can also, like I said, train more than we want, and know that each year we can lose 1, 2, 3 and still stand.
The center is seeking to leave no one behind in their quest to improve the public health sector, thus the inclusion of traditional medicines in their programs.
At some point in time, I saw our own first lady, working with Nyamkutas. It's unfortunate that most people saw that in the bad light. But it's a very good approach. Our model is very similar to that. Even now, we have our traditional healers largely being vilified, even prophets largely being vilified. But we have a model where we can mainstream their practice. We actually have a training course that we developed. It's accredited with the Expo, that is aimed at ensuring that these cadres can contribute to our public health system, working, in collaboration and also supporting, the Ministry of Health's efforts. In that regard, once the cadre, for example, is trained, let's say is a traditional healer, underwent that training, he or she will be able to assist, for example, in screening for non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes. It's very easy to do. I think coming from COVID, we all know that security personnel, guards, were very effective in determining someone with a fever or who doesn't have a fever. So they contributed significantly during that period. Taking temperature. You wouldn't go into a shop when your temperature is high. The security guard will not allow in. So how can we learn from that? Put it mainstream rather than vilifying them. Because based on data that we have, I think about 80% of our people, before they actually come to go to see a doctor, they either go to their prophet or pastor or to a traditional healer. So if they are the ones that are seeing these people, initially, why don't you mainstream them? Why don't you have a situation where, for example, a traditional healer, can have access to our own wards?
Zimbabwe is rated as one of the most literate countries in Africa, and their children are beginning to prove to the world that this is not a fluke by claiming their stake in the world economics of today, thereby putting our country on the world map. We take a short commercial break. Please stay tuned in for more when we return as we speak to some of the youthful professionals behind the scenes at the public health institution. Are you tired of looking for a job without success? Look no further, for now you can become your own boss. Join us at Network Business Minds and learn how to make many products such as soft drinks, detergents, washing soap and powder, sausages and deodorants. After training, we link you up with financial institutions offering startup capital. We also give advice on various business projects. For more information, contact Svelani on 0776 737 191. M&T Granites, professionals in all aspects of stonework, ranging from tombstones, shop counters, fireplaces, kitchen tops and all other custom-made products. Visit us at stand number 5797, Kubatana Arts Center, corner of Golden Quarry and Bulawayo Roads, opposite the National Heroes Eka in Warren Park, Harare. M&T Granites, granite solutions beyond your expectation.
Fiat Learning Center for automotive training courses. Visit us or call us on 0715 100 948.
Welcome back. In the first part of this exciting episode of Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant, we spoke to Dr. Amos Marume, whose public health institute has touched on many a life, ranging from professionals to semi-professional and the laymen of our communities. Now, this institute has become home to many young professionals in the fields of marketing, education and health, among others, as they have taken up posts at the organization. And in this part of the program, we would like to speak to a couple of them, starting with Ashley Kudu, who is in charge of the marketing and admissions section, who started by telling us how they saw a need in the market and decided to create programs that would give answers to those needs.
Well, from where we saw the market, right? We saw that so many people, yes, they can't get into the health sector because they don't have the ordinarily 15 points. But not many people understand that just because you don't have 15 points doesn't mean you can't be in the health sector. So many people have the skill, so many people can actually take care of people naturally as their inborn thing. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have the 15 points, you can't be in the health field. That's why we have catered for people where even if you have 5 O levels with maths, English and science, you can actually get into the health field and actually advance from that to get into specialized field that you want. So what we've done is our institution is registered under the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education. All our programs right now are HEXCO programs. That means they're internationally recognized and they don't expire. There are some organizations where they give certificates that expire because they are not a registered institution. But we are a registered institution. That means that whatever certificate we give, even if it's a continuous professional development program, it does not expire. That means that you can actually use it until you, I don't know, want to change a career path, but it doesn't expire.
As a marketing person, tell me now why I should enroll with you to become a nurse aide, to become a pharmacy assistant, and all these other programs that you're offering.
Well, I can say that we really have sat down. We've analyzed the gap in the market. We've seen that because of the pandemic that is going on and that has been currently in the world, there's such a gap in people not understanding public health as a whole. There are people who actually need our services, but they don't know the knowledge of us. For example, we have things like public health monitoring and evaluation or disease surveillance and modeling. These are people that go out into the field and actually analyze the pandemics that are happening and try to mitigate those things from happening again. If we had more of those people and more of those enumerators in the world, you would see that we wouldn't have a pandemic of, for example, cholera in the city center. These are things that actually will help other people and help the community that you live in. So us as HIPH, we've made sure that all our programs are meeting the needs of the pandemics and the health situations that are happening in Zimbabwe and in the world. We designed a course called Child Health and Caregiving. This is especially for first-time mothers, those who deal with minors and toddlers, and we make sure that they learn everything that has to do with the child health, safety of a child, especially those who have institutions like kindergarten, creche, ECD, Sunday school teachers, those mothers that don't know exactly how to maybe, let's say, treat a baby for fever, or how to indicate or know the signs of, okay, we need to take a child to the hospital, or even dispensing medication to a minor. You need to have the proper knowledge. In as much as you have the mother's instinct, there's the knowledge that adds into that you need to have as a person who deals with children under the age of 5. We also do offer, there are actually 2 programs that we offer. We have your nurse aide, which is 2 months with 3 months attachment, and then you have your nursing assistant. So your nursing assistant is 1 year. These are programs that are available for people who don't necessarily have the A-levels or the degree, but actually want to learn and have the aid to actually help what you're saying, the people who may, so happen to probably give birth at home, or they don't have the resources to go to a nearest hospital. These are the people that have the first aid response to such situations, and given the proper knowledge and training, I'm sure that if we have the adequate people trained all over Zimbabwe and around the world, it will be more sufficient than all the doctors that we have in this country.
The lady in charge of the teaching and learning management sector is Sarurai Magaya, and this is what she had to say about her duties at the center and the results that they are streaming out.
Most of the times we have students that are already in a particular field that are looking for professionalization, and we have students that are looking for a way to get to their end goal through a different pathway that's away from the normal standard one of you graduate, you finish high school, you go to university, and then you go into the field. Most of the students that we work with have wanted to look for the practical experience, so they come and look for programs that we offer, because they also have the caveat of offering the practical learning. We always encourage our students to go on voluntary attachments, in whatever field that they're working in, so that what they're learning in the classroom, they apply it in the real world. I think there is value in having that certificate. It allows you to be a professional, a recognized professional in whatever field that you're working in, one. And two, it also allows you to take advantage of all the opportunities that you have and to be rewarded something that is worth your certificate. Because sometimes you see, if it's not professionalized, people take advantage of the fact that you are just a dispensary assistant, but you do not have the qualification of a dispensary assistant. Whereas if you have the qualification of a dispensary assistant, you are within your own right to then take full advantage of that certificate.
As someone who is producing professionals, how do you think you are contributing? Not you as a person, but
us as an institution.
Yes, as an institution. How do you think you are contributing to the growth of our national economy?
I believe the more you educate, the more people want to expand. For example, if a dispensary assistant wants to continue to farm tech and further pharmacy, they are going to open their own pharmaceutical company, or they're going to open their own pharmacy. That brings in business and also brings out revenue into the country. So I think that's one of the ways we are working to develop the country. And also it's not just learning, it's learning with the business mind. And when people have more entrepreneurs, it helps expand the economy, yes.
I've seen you also working with traditional medicines, which means you are also working with traditional healers,
yes,
and prophets and people like that.
Yes.
How does this help the modern way we are living? We think what do you want to say about that?
I want to say that we're trying to change that mentality that if a person goes kunyanga or they go to traditional healer, there's something wrong about that. There are different ways to cook soup. Sometimes people just pour water and fry the vegetables, and then you put the water. Someone just puts everything all at the same time, and then they let it boil. So we want to show that there are different ways to go about solving a problem, and traditional healers, when they have the basic knowledge of checking temperature, and if we give this particular dose of this particular herb, the person will be healed in the correct way, then it makes them more impactful, so that the person who's being treated has the best service that they can have.
But do you foresee, or are you seeing traditional healers coming in for this modern training? Because they believe that it's my gift that I got from my ancestors, so it's enough, and they don't even want to share, you know? They don't want to share. So you're coming on board. Is it helping bridge this gap between what we call the modern way of doing things and the way these traditionalists grew up learning it from child to sekuru to?
It's trickling in well. We are hoping that we have met them. They see that we have met them in the middle ground, respecting that this is something, it's a gift to someone. And that while it's a gift, that gifts need to be molded in such a way that at the end of the day, the person who's being treated is the one that benefits the most from both tactics.
It is a fact that countries such as China, Japan, and even South Africa have benefited a lot in the health delivery system by incorporating the use of traditional medicines into their mainstream system. And seeing as it is, Zimbabwe could also do the same and work closely with those that provide alternative medicines for the betterment of our people's lives. We take another breather. Please join us again shortly. Are you tired of looking for a job without success? Look no further, for now you can become your own boss. Join us at Network Business Minds and learn how to make many products such as soft drinks, detergents, washing soap and powder, sausages and deodorants. After training, we link you up with financial institutions offering startup capital. We also give advice on various business projects. For more information, contact Svelani on 0776 737 191. M&T Granites, professionals in all aspects of stonework, ranging from tombstones, shop counters, fireplaces, kitchen tops and all other custom-made products. Visit us at stand number 5797, Kubatana Arts Center, corner of Golden Quarry and Bulawayo Roads, opposite the National Heroes Eka in Warren Park, Harare. M&T Granites. Granite solutions beyond your expectation.
Fiat Learning Center for automotive training courses. Visit us or call us on 0715 100 948.
This is the third and final part of this week's edition of your favorite informative as well as educative program, Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant, where we focus on the sons and daughters of this country who are contributing meaningfully to the growth of our national economy. Now, today, we are super excited to be focusing on an institution that is not just bent on making profit for themselves, but is changing the landscape in the health sector, both at home and abroad, through the provision of professional health personnel and services at the time of need. In this segment, we would like to speak to a couple of students whose association with this institute has changed their lives positively. Mona Lisa Mwadzira, who was studying as a dispensary assistant in 2022, takes us through the role of the assistant.
Hello, welcome to the 21st century. Being an assistant doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have to go to school for that. There's a lot of work you put in studying and being a dispensary assistant. For example, the different categories of medicines. You have to know different types of coughs. You have to diagnose a patient if they come inside. It's basically a lot of work.
Why didn't you just go into a fully fledged university and just get your Bachelor of Pharmacy or something from there?
Well, with the Bachelor of Pharmacy degree, they accept 15 points only. Well, with me, I had to take the long route because I didn't do A-level sciences. I did O-level. I passed my maths, I've got my English, I've got my integrated science, and which was an advantage for me to get into the pharmaceutical industry, which I then which made me qualify into enrolling into dispensary assistant, which I did for the whole year, and I passed my coursework with flying colors because the coursework contributes 60% to your final mark. So right now I'm actually waiting for my results, whereby I wrote November 2022. This became an added advantage for me, and I had passed my coursework for me to proceed into being a pharmaceutical technician.
And what is the main difference between a pharmaceutical technician and that other person we spoke about, the one who's holding a degree from a local university?
All right, I'll start from a dispensary assistant. It's a dispensary assistant is the first stage where you get to a pharmacy where they get to diagnose the ordinary illnesses and dispense prescription medicine, whereby a pharmaceutical technician does the extemporaneous compounding of medicines, and they also deal in hostel, whereby a bachelor in pharmacy, a pharmacist now, is the one that coordinates everything or oversees the pharmaceutical technician and is into retail.
Another graduate of the dispensary assistant program, Rombidzai Chaitora, is now majoring in the marketing of medical products, and this is what she had to say.
So for now, I'm not doing medical sales and marketing, so it has more of marketing of the medical products, because after doing dispensary assistant, I had enough knowledge about products, pharmaceutical products, but I'm more of a marketing person. I prefer doing that information to people like doctors, pharmacists, and people who use the medication. So I prefer doing the marketing of the medication. I actually think this is a unique program, because people who are doing this program in universities, they're actually doing marketing generally, whether it's for gadgets or whatsoever. But this one is specifically for medical products. So it's so unique and specific.
As you Google around, you see the demand for people of your caliber around the world. Where do you see yourself within the next 4 or 5 years after graduating?
I actually think I'll be one of the most recommended marketer in Zimbabwe for a big plant that will be manufacturing pharmaceutical products and will be exporting to other countries. I actually think we have very few plants which manufacture pharmaceutical products in Zimbabwe. And after they manufacture, the reason why we usually don't export is because out there they don't even know much. So we need people who can voice enough and let people know about the products. Rather for us to be importing from India and other countries, we need to be selling to them. So we need people who are able to launch those products and tell people this works this way, this works that way after manufacturing them. So as for me, what I've noticed is that there are so many medications that we're not even able to produce on our own, and I feel like we can do that, especially for cancer medications. We have a lot of people dying because people are not serious about it. So as long as I start my own plants, start manufacturing cancer medications, we're going to bring a change to the nation, definitely. So that's the way I want to major in that, and then I'll promote medications.
As our parting shot, we asked admissions officer Ashley Kudu to tell us what they've designed for the youth to curb the rampant drug abuse problem that has gripped the country.
As a young person, I've discovered that discovering your purpose in life is very, very important, especially at a young age. So I would highly advise that if you do have the opportunity to talk to someone, here we actually offer free career guidance every Friday at 2 o'clock. You just walk in, we sit you down, we make sure that we do tests, we understand who you are, the background that you have, and majority of the people that then come in, we find out that, for example, everyone wants to do nurse aid currently at the moment. But you find out that your child, Anoshka, but will not act as aid. It doesn't make sense. So for us, it's not just for you to get a skill, it's actually for you to find your purpose and understand, okay, this is the gap that I'm supposed to be filling in the market. And we make sure that the skill that you're getting is actually something that you're going to enjoy doing, something that's actually going to change the world, you as an individual. And we also have peer educator trainings for drug and substance abuse that we do here at Harare Institute of Public Health, where it's easier for someone to be told about drugs and how bad they are when they're looking at someone their own age. So young people, we don't really like listening to parents these days. So we've created a program that we actually help these people by getting their friends to know about the effects of these drugs, and then go out into the community to actually help their other peers. So I believe that for a young person, understanding where you're going and actually getting people to help you and find that thing that you're so good at, and here we actually make you discover that purpose in life.
When programs and projects are earmarked for and are being run by the target groups such as the youth, they tend to reach their mark quickly and effectively. And as we have heard from Ashley, there are free sessions for those in need. All they have to do is get in touch and free the future world from the bondages of such vices as drug abuse and laziness, which in turn will ensure the growth of our economy and country at large. We hope you enjoyed what we brought you in this episode, and that you will also get in touch with us so that we can feature the life-changing programs that you are doing for our country on Zimbabwe, the Awakening Giant. Until next time, pleasant viewing.